Yeah, so there's a history of companies in the Valley succeeding with some idea from nothing and getting extremely big and successful, and conversely of other companies just fading away and dying, either small or large. And so the economy in the Valley is sort of constantly turning over. We don't get entrenched in sort of any one thing. As compared to, for example, we were talking about San Diego, where there's a large amount of industry all around the defense area. And so if there's a dip in defense spending, it significantly affects San Diego sort of instantly. And so they're they have a very, very entrenched need to keep the defense industry going. Whereas here, it's much more...
It's about disruption, really.
It's really about just what's the next big idea.
And
nobody's looking backwards. People are always looking forwards.
That's the key. It's about how can we change things for the better? How can I do so it goes against your almost like human nature, right? What we do is establish a pattern, establish a culture, establish a history, and then we keep following that path. But Silicon Valley is different because we are always looking for how do we change it? How do we make it better? Like, forward looking. Maybe there's your answer, right? It's about the nature of the people, nature of the industry, nature of the culture. It's an interesting question.
Yeah. And a lot of it is about being willing to take a risk. And that's, funnily enough, that's where the whole kite surfing thing is, because Bill, who runs the sort of the kite surfing group, he has this philosophy that learning to kite surf is a very difficult, involved process, and you go through these stages of various levels of despair as you learn. But you're rewarded if you stick with it, with being able to do a great sport at the end of it. And he draws this parallel with building a business, how you go through this sequence of events, many of which can be despairing and never ending, but a lot of it is just needing to stick with it. And then you go off and in kite surfing, you try and do these tricks, which are potentially fairly dangerous, but it's sort of calculated risk once you've got that experience built up. And it's the same thing with starting a company in the Valley, where after a few knocks and bruises and you've got some of the experience, you're willing to take, or you're able to take these calculated risks to go and disrupt something or change something or come out with a new product or whatever, or go and talk to that investor or turn down that investor. And that's,
right, exactly.
Sometimes it's things like that, where you have to have that confidence and experience in the background, and you've learned from your bumps.
And that goes hand in hand with the culture of forgiveness too, right? Forgiveness of failure. And that's hard to come by in many societies and many cultures, really, right? If you fail once, everyone has a taboo against that individuals. And he or she is no good because she tried her hand at this. But here, you look at failure and say, wow, she must have learned great lessons doing that. So the next time around, she's not going to repeat those mistakes. So let's give her some money, or let's give her product a chance, or something. That's an interesting.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yep, that's key.